So Highland Grimes Podcast. I'm Shane.
I'm Glory.
And we're here with...
I'm Scarlett. I'm Izzie, and this is the chokecherry interview. Welcome to chokecherry.
Chokecherry.
Hell yeah. And we're going to have some questions to say about the new EP, Messy Star. So congrats on that, by the way. How you guys feel about the response to it so far?
Oh, it's been amazing. It's so incredible. This is our first EP as a band, and so it was a really exciting process. And just to see people love it and listen to it and get to experience it is so exciting. So
hell yeah.
Yeah, we're over the moon.
The EP is fucking awesome.
It
Thank
is
you.
incredible.
Hell yeah.
Cool.
Digging it.
Hell yeah. For sure. So is there any meaning behind the EP title or cover art?
The whole EP kind of has a symbolism around water. So in the Messy Star video, we're quite literally like drowning in a pool while the bodies hit the floor. And it's like kind of a descent into like more abstract imagery and more abstract songs as the single rollout like went on. As far as the single cover, our friend Brianna Lynn, who did all of our music videos, directed all the music videos, shot the cover as well. And then I was like sitting in a stairwell, like super bored in New York because I was late to a fashion show and I couldn't get in. And I was like, well, I guess I'll like draw some shit on this cover. So that became like the title art on the EP cover. With the Messy Star EP, what's so cool and exciting about it for us is that Glassjaw is this awesome part of our sound, and that was it was the first single we ever released, and a lot of people got to hear it, which was so exciting. But if you've been to a live show, or if you come to a chokecherry live show, we get pretty heavy. And we love having a pit. We love having anything like that. We love screaming at people and all that kind of shit. It's like punk. Oh, are we allowed to curse?
Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for letting me know. But yeah, I used to be on a radio show. I did radio in San Francisco and in Mexico City, and you couldn't curse.
Yeah.
You get
Let it
fined
fly
big
here.
time. Oh yeah, awesome. All right. Well, we have a lot of different shit that we like doing, but the cool thing about the Messy Star EP is I think that with each single, we sort of teased that we were going to get a little bit darker, a little bit heavier, and kind of go into this descent into this like drowning sort of chaos. And so in Afterglow, we have, this breakdown that gets a little bit heavier and people kind of went like, ooh, something's going to happen. And then it just kind of kept going. And the imagery progressively got darker and darker with each music video as well, which were all done by Brianna Lynn, Izzie's childhood best friend and our darling, our darling tour photographer, director, and just like friend extraordinaire. So it was really cool that we got to slowly introduce people to what we do if you haven't been able to come see us play live yet.
Hell
So
yeah.
that was it. That was the idea with the way that Messy Star was rolled out. But a lot of themes of water, a lot of themes of like drowning, floating, insecurity, commentary on just kind of being seen, celebrity culture, stuff like that. The mortifying ordeal of being known. The mortifying ordeal of being known, of being alive. Being perceived.
Absolutely. The press materials we were sent described you guys as shoegaze, and sure, I hear it throughout the music, but it was like hilarious going through the EP as you said, like kind of just descends into this. It gets heavier and heavier in the last song. Like I'm a metalhead. Like the last song was like my shit on the EP because that's the heaviest track on the EP. I was like, this fucking rips. So it's like shoegaze. I hear it, but I don't know. It's a little bit of everything. Yeah, it's definitely a little bit of everything. We always close with Mirror Mirror. That's been our closing track for a little while. It's just if we don't play Mirror Mirror, I feel like sometimes I haven't played the set if we don't end it's not
with
complete.
something.
I got you. So can you guys tell us a little bit about your writing process for the EP?
Yeah, I feel like personally, my writing style has always been more inspired by grunge. So when we got the shoegaze label, this is kind of in response to the previous question. When we got the shoegaze label, I was like, that's so interesting. So I feel like it's sort of like an all-encompassing label that was put on music that kind of was so ADHD and everywhere. But I love starting good songs in my room. And then sometimes I'll bring them to Scarlett and then we'll go from there. But some of our best stuff has come from when we're just jamming in the studio and in between songs that we're
Yeah.
rehearsing. There's just like a riff that happens, so we like investigate that for a while, and that's, I think, my favorite form of writing that we do is the
Absolutely, yeah.
all together collaborative, and it's just really fun to like hear it all fleshed out with like bass, drums, and guitar all at once.
Yeah. And in response to the shoegaze question, I think what's interesting is like, you know, what is shoegaze? And you have all these sort of like founding fathers, if you will, shoegaze, and it's layering a ton of guitars. It's really tone focused, and a lot of people sort of having like a resurgence. A lot of people are fitting into the label of shoegaze now, or trying to make shoegaze music. And as a band, we're very, very guitar centric, very tone centric band. So we kind of got the shoegaze bubble grunge label from the first few tracks, but we go in a lot of different directions. And I think that what's cohesive about it is that we layer like a ton of guitars. We really focus on tone. We really focus on vocal harmonies and vocal layering. Always like, you know, 10 of us present vocally at any given time on different parts of the track. So I don't know if that necessarily always fits into the realm of shoegaze. I think that we go in a lot of different directions, but maybe that's where some of that comes from, if that makes sense. And in terms of writing process, I think that both Iz and I will write things alone and bring them in, which is a fun way to do it. But I mean, like, my favorite things have come from when we're sitting in a room. So even the things that like I'll bring in from the beginning, or from, you know, like they're like weird little infancy, they're never what they end up becoming. Because when we in a room together and we all start bouncing off of each other, it turns into something completely different than anything I could ever dream of when I'm alone. And I think that's a cool writing process. And I think we're very much so like melody first. And so then, you know, find words after. Sometimes we do like Cocteau Twins sort of mushmouth style until we can ascribe a meaning to it and we find something that really resonates with us.
Hell yeah. Love it.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And what song off the EP took longest to write, and which one is each of your own personal favorite?
Ooh, which took the longest to write? That's a good question. You know, I think off the EP specifically, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's Messy Star. Because
I think so.
We had Messy Star in a couple different versions. We had a live version that we played for a while that isn't what's on the EP and isn't what we play now. And I think it took us maybe 6 weeks to get a version that we really wanted to perform. And then, because like we loved the pieces of it that we had, but we didn't know how to put the puzzle together yet. And then we brought it in its live version in that incarnation to Zach Tush, the producer who we worked with for the EP. We worked with Sarah Tudson and Zach Tush. Sarah on 2 of the tracks, Afterglow and I Know You, and then Zach on all of the tracks. And we kind of hacked it there too, and we changed the structure of it a bit. So I think that one took the longest. My favorite to perform, I love it when people sing along. I know that that's like such a kitschy, silly, like, you know, everyone takes out a lighter. It's sweet. I don't know. There's something about it. And a lot of people sing along to Afterglow, which I was not expecting. For a song that started with just like sobbing in a room. And so, you know, that people even know it is weird. And it's sweet though that it resonates with people. And so see anything that resonates with people, that's always my favorite.
Hell yeah.
For sure.
My favorite to perform is definitely Mirror Mirror. Because I don't know, I grew up in those mosh pits, dude. And seeing them form when that song comes on just feeds my soul in such a way.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah.
I also love just getting heavy and loud for the last track.
Yeah.
It's awesome. It's the last chance to like make that impression on people.
No, for sure. And there have been shows where I'm like, like my vibe was off during the show, or like something was wrong. And then, you know, Mirror Mirror is always the saving grace. Because we always have fun playing that song.
So real. It's such a redeeming moment. There were a lot of shows on tour. We just went on tour with Destroy Boys and Sasami and Teen Mortgage. And, you know, they have like really big crowds. It's a really exciting group of people. And it's always like really young people come to the Devo shows. So they're like excited to kind of like mosh and listen. And after the last, like right before the last song, I always would say to people, "What do you do in a mosh pit if they fall down?" And everyone goes, "You pick them back up." And I go, "That's right." And then do it, and they do it, and they're so into it. And I think that that's like the most exciting. Like, yeah, like we got this like energy, and everybody's together, and everybody's excited and like dancing and moving. So
yeah,
it's really dope.
Fuck yeah.
That's incredible.
Love it. For this question, I want each of you guys to pick your favorite lyric off the EP and tell us the meaning behind it.
Oh man. I mean, I can tell you my favorite lyric off of Afterglow, but I don't know if that's necessarily my favorite lyric off the whole EP. That's really challenging. My favorite lyric off of Afterglow, it's a tie between it's the second verse, and it's future slowly slipping out from underneath, nothing close to when you're standing next to me. It's those two, because yeah, they're I mean, the thing that's so interesting too about songs is when you sing them and when you play them, like they obviously take on their own meaning for each person who listens to it. It's the most beautiful thing about music in general, but I think that they've taken on like different meanings for me throughout the time that we've had them and like played them. So the people that they're originally about and the scenarios that they're originally about, they kind of get completely shifted into whatever's going on in your life at the moment. But the nothing close to when you're standing next to me and future slowly slipping out from underneath it, about one, at least at the time, we're about one specific person and scenario. And it still like breaks my heart every single time because like I don't think, to be perfectly honest, I don't think I'm gonna get the chance to like be next to that person for a very long time in like the same way. And so I always think, or if ever, and so I always think of it, and it's like, I don't know, it kind of hits hard, but I'm sure if I think about the other songs, there's ones in each song.
Hell yeah. It is weird though, like you mentioned, even for you that song has kind of evolved meanings as it's been out and you've played it live, and you know, obviously, you know, fans pulling their own meaning from a song is something we hear all the time, but not, you know, an artist mentioning that a meaning for a song has evolved for them as the song has kind of taken on its own life form.
Yeah, that's an interesting perspective.
Yeah, I think my favorite song off Afterglow, or my favorite lyric off Afterglow, is "In 10 years I'll blow it all." And it's kind of a different perspective than Scarlett's verses because hers are more romantic. I think mine's very much like, even if I'm successful, I'm gonna fuck it up.
yeah.
And it's just kind of silly, but yeah, I think
I feel like a lot of people have actually told me about that line specifically, that "in 10 years I'll blow it all," because they like relate to it so much, like no matter how hard you try, like 10 years you might fuck it all up.
Yeah Fucked.
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna blow it all gambling, dude. Just watch. I'm gonna have big winnings, and then I'm gonna get just reamed, and then I'm gonna come back.
Exactly. Then it's the comeback that's crazy. Would you guys be able to tell us where your headspace is at while you're creating the EP?
It ranged from depressed to absolutely rocking. I feel like I was just really excited to be able to write with some new people and like meet some really awesome and inspiring individuals in like the music scene, like Zach Tush, Sarah Tudson. We worked with Jen DeSilvio for a little bit. We did some songwriting with her, and that was so fun. She's awesome. She just did Sasami's new song, so we just got off tour with. But yeah, I just feel like it felt like kind of a step up from where we had been, and it was just really awesome to have that opportunity to meet those new people and like pick their brains and kind of see like how different creative minds could influence the material, and it was awesome. Yeah. It was really exciting.
That's fucking awesome. Oh yeah, Scarlett, you agree?
Yeah. Sure. I think that headspace wise, depressed is real. Your problems don't
Can
go.
you guys hear it in the music? I'm sad.
You know, a little bit.
Comes
but
through.
you know, it's a release.
It's a release. You know, it's like I don't know. It's a release. I've been depressed for a very long time. I struggle with depression. But I started Lexpro. I find it really effective, and I'm really lucky that I found something that works for me, which is great.
Yeah.
But I think that music has always been sort of like a cathartic thing. And so, yeah, a lot of that. It's also really exhilarating because as a person, I really like working with other people, and especially in terms of like music and writing music. And I also like having like a goal, like a tangible like end, like you're making something and it's in like a realm. So it makes me so happy that this EP and like so many, like over 100 people had something to do with all of this, whether it was all the people on set when we were filming, whether it's everyone we worked with for the music, it's everyone at Fearless and our team there. Like we've had so many different people whose hands have been in this and created this world with us. And that's my favorite thing, is like building a world and building a theme and building like a project in that way. So I think that was really exciting to watch that happen. So yes, depressed, but also a great deal of excitement and just like watching something take form. It's really
absolutely, hell yeah.
Sweet.
So how do you guys recommend your fans to listen to this EP for the first time? Should do in the car with friends, in dark with headphones on? Is it workout EP, party EP? What do you guys personally recommend?
Speeding down the highway with all the windows down.
Speeding down the highway
at a reasonable rate of speed. We allow cursing on here, but speeding, we do not condone that shit.
Listen to it while doing gay crimes with your friends.
Hell yeah. All right. Fuck yeah.
Hell yeah.
So does speeding count as a gay crime?
Dude, I think so.
There you go. So that's the workaround, Shane.
If you're listening to chokecherry, it absolutely is.
Okay, cool. Perfect. And this one should be super, super quick. Off top of your heads, I want you guys to describe this EP for new listeners in 3 words. 3 words each, 6 total, no more, no less.
See, part of me wants to do that thing where you like do 3 descriptive words, but that feels really annoying. And then the other part of me is like, you have to make a sentence of 3 words, but I'm not awake enough or clever enough to come up with like a 3-word encapsulation phrase as to what it.
We have a lot of people use just 3 descriptive words, so it's not, like a cop out or anything. That's
okay.
What people do. Yeah.
Thank you. That's helpful in terms of prompt.
I feel like I'm gonna write it down because my brain works in like.
That's good.
Shuffling around in my drawer.
I feel like this might just be a reflection of our entire conversation right now. So I might not. I don't know. Right now, upon talking about it, I feel like 3 words I'm thinking of, because we've been talking about this, is cathartic, explosive, and comforting.
I said tarot reading with cathartic doom riffs.
Those are both great.
All right. Yeah.
Hello. Okay. All right. Same wavelength. Thank you.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
It's so much easier to write, dude.
Yeah.
Hell
there you
yeah.
go.
Cathartic, comforting, cathartic tarot reading. That's the end.
Except that we're not really. No, I'm not. You know what? I'm not going to analyze.
We don't need to analyze it. It's locked in.
Yeah.
Izzie,
I'm locked in.
Izzie, I want to let you know we've done a lot of these interviews. You're the first one to say I got to write it down.
I got to
put my thoughts on paper. So I respect that.
Yeah.
Oh, darling,
does that make me behind the curve or?
Nah, you're making history on the podcast. That's what you're doing.
Yeah. History.
So in that same train of thought, is there a certain feeling or emotion you want you guys, your listeners, to have while going through the EP?
Yeah, I know I've said this before, but I'll say it again. Like, I think that with music in general, especially when I was like younger, but now too, it comforts you. Like when things feel like very lonely, you feel like someone else maybe understands you or can help guide you through challenging experiences or things that are hard. And so, yeah, I hope that it feels sort of like a companion, or like you're listening to something that you can resonate with, or that can help you through whatever is happening in your life.
Hell yeah.
Love it. Yeah, perfect. And are you guys able to touch on any particularly challenging or standout moments during the creation of the EP, positive or negative?
One moment that I really had to adjust was, we usually write everything ourselves. We got into the studio for the first time and wrote a song from start to finish with somebody else. And I had this moment of like, kind of, I feel like relinquishing control of the music. And I think that was really cool because it opened us up into like such a kind of broader world of creative narratives and visions. Because for a long time I felt so protective of like, oh, like chokecherry songs should be like just written by chokecherry members or whatever. But writing it with somebody else was actually really, really awesome. So that was a really cool learning experience. And now I'm like, all I want to do is write with other people because it's so fun and so like freeing. Like the more minds you have on a project, like the better it can become.
For sure.
Yeah.
What else? Yeah. And then I feel like on the flip side of that, like still like having, you know, your creative conviction and, you know, trying to like really trust your tastes. Like that was a cool balance to strike where it's like, oh, like this song's gonna like go live its own life and, you know, leave the nest.
Yeah.
But then on the other hand, it's like, they're still my baby. And I like want this in there and I want this in there and I want to sound like this. But yeah, that was cool.
I think kind of similarly on the like baby take, it is like a baby that, you know, you make or you birth or whatever, and then you raise, and then it goes off and it has its own life, and people, again, like ascribe their own meaning to it. But I think that a big thing for me has just been like overcoming, at least on this last EP too, like knowing like people are gonna hear this, or like even if it's like your friend or whoever, like people are gonna hear it, and not to be so scared of being vulnerable or taking risks musically.
Yeah.
And you know that, like, you know, people you respect and you look up to and you care about are listening, even if it's just like the producers that you're working with, or your bandmates, or your closest friends, or the people that you make music in the same scene as. You know, when people listen to it and then they talk to you about it. Sometimes back in the day, I remember when I was younger, I used to just not even be able to listen to anything that I had sang or played on or recorded. I was so anxious and I never wanted anyone to hear it. So that's been the learning curve for sure, I think, for me on the CP.
Absolutely. Now, going into it like with that mindset, did you feel any sort of like pressure, anxiety going into this EP, you know, releasing and being put out in the world? I know it's been a handful of months since it came out.
I mean, yes and no. I think that, again, that's for me, that's like where the beauty of like being in a project comes in. And so it's something that you're creating with other people, and that's really exciting, and you get to collaborate with people, and everybody has hands in it. So it's like the joy is shared, the hard parts are shared, everything is shared. So yeah.
Makes sense. Hell yeah. So for this question, I want you guys to picture you're on tour, you're at a gas station for a rest stop. What is your snack of choice?
Oh, Funyuns. That's right.
Shout out Funyuns.
Always Funyuns. Except when we were on tour, there were like these 2-for-1 deals at 7-Eleven or some, I don't know where we were, but so I would always get the Funyuns and then the white cheddar Cheetos.
Ooh, yeah.
And then I would hate myself.
Yeah.
Because my body would be so angry.
Yeah.
Also Celsius.
Yeah, I was gonna say Celsius.
Lord knows like what it's doing to our bodies, but like, God, did they hit?
It has like vitamins and minerals and shit. So, like, it should be like pretty good, right?
I know, like that's literally where I'm getting my vitamins.
Exactly, like
a balanced diet, dude.
Exactly, big and strong. Come on,
dude. Celsius make us so strong.
Exactly. Yep. Love Celsius.
The way I just flexed my arms right now.
I couldn't.
The beach is that way, dude.
I actually don't know which direction the beach is here.
You guys can't see me on camera, but my muscles are literally so huge, dude.
Dude,
if you had your camera on, it would just be muscles.
I need to make more gains. I need more Celsius.
Yep.
Celsius. Sweet Tarts ropes.
Ooh.
The cherry punch ones. I don't know why. I really fucking like them.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, on this past tour, some form of nicotine product. But I have
Zins. We're eating Zins.
They're really bad.
Yummy.
Zins.
Don't do it. They make it. They're bad. I haven't been actually smoking or using nicotine since I got home, which is good.
Nice.
I've had like here and there. at our show the other night, which was nice. But it's tour. It turns out when you don't sleep and you're really anxious all the time, you have a tendency to like do that instead.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there were times when like something stressful would happen and I'd just be like hitting my vape so hard. And it would be I wouldn't even notice. And I was like, Jesus Christ, dude.
Yeah.
God damn. It
But
happens.
yeah, we're doing better.
Doing better now.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Love it.
Hell yeah. That's all that matters. That is all that matters. And on the topic of food, if the band was a dish, what dish would the band be and why?
Oh my god, this is so awesome. Okay, I think we'd be noodles because
What kind?
We'd be like, well, we'd be like a sort of noodle, like maybe a drunken noodle. We'd be drunken noodle.
You.
But it would have like a lot of crazy little ingredients in it. Like it wouldn't be your typical. But we also just love Thai food so much.
I love Thai food.
I think we'd be a noodle. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll go with that.
Mm-hmm.
I'll buy that. I'd like to eat that right now.
Hell yeah. All right. And for the last couple questions, going to shift completely away from music and go straight to death row.
Boom.
So if you're on death row, what would your last meal be with a drink?
Oh, I'd be lying if I said I never thought about this one before.
Prepared.
For me, I would do Mentos and Diet Coke. I would eat the Mentos first, and then I would drink the Diet Coke, and then I would projectile spray on all the guards, and then get out of there.
Okay, so it's an escape plan.
It might be an escape plan.
You know what?
You know?
Fuck yeah. Yeah.
Respect. I knew that you'd have something like that.
How can I be the human C4 is all I want to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I thought you were going with it. Like, I'm going to eat a shitload of Mentos, drink a shitload of Diet Coke, and then what happens when you put the Mentos in the Diet Coke can will just happen to you.
Prison break, baby. Let's fucking go. Or a spread from my favorite Thai restaurant, Rice by Mama, Ventura.
Oh, yeah.
I feel I knew you would have a solid answer that was both comedic and ready to bust the fuck out of prison. So I was waiting on that. But fuck death row. If I had to pick a last meal for my entire life, I'm gonna do that one because I'll just flip the fuck out. Probably just something super comforting. Probably like my mom makes really good food, so sometimes like, if I could, I'd have food that my mom makes. But if I'm on death row, I'm not fucking eating shit.
That's fair.
Fair enough.
Yeah, understandable. And if you could live in one fictional world for a week, where would you live?
There's this book called Ecotopia where they really have it figured out in California and everything's like sustainable and beautiful and they have so many trains and I think I would live there.
Solid.
Yeah.
Post United States secession.
Yeah. I mean, part of me is like I really would like to like fly, and I never have dreams where I'm flying either. So I feel like that'd be a fun sensation. So I want to say something like House Moving Castle, but there's this really sick book called We by Evgeny Zamyatin, and it's all sort of like in a perfect society, the revolution still exists, but like there's a lot of different, really interesting sort of like loopholes in it, and I'd like to see that. So I think I'd probably like to live there.
Solid.
Oh yeah.
Wonderful.
And I've not asking the last question. Every single person that we've spoken to have said that it is the most important question. What's your favorite color?
Lavender. Or the combination of like a sunset orange and like a really nice blue.
Ooh.
Nice.
I love lavender too, but I think probably my favorite is like a sea foamy, like a light sort of minty tealy kind of a light color like that. I really like. And also I really like pale pink.
Solid. All right.
Ooh, also kind of like a sage green. Oh my god. There's so many things in my room that are sage green.
Sage green fucks.
Dude, it fucks so hard.
Crazy work.
Love it.
Wait, so where are you guys based?
Where are you out of?
I'm in New Jersey.
I'm in Virginia.
No way. Where in Virginia?
I am near Norfolk.
Okay, word.
Okay.
Why?
Because we were just in Richmond a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, that's like an hour and a half, hour 45 with traffic.
Love Richmond.
We had a really good time.
Where were you? Canal Club, National, whereabouts?
Oh, we were just passing through on our way to like
God, we were driving from DC to Orlando.
That's right.
Oh, fuck.
So we
Hike.
stopped to sleep. But where were we last tour? We were at Richmond Music Hall.
Nice.
Oh shit. Okay, that's the one I haven't been to yet. I've been in fucking everywhere else except for that.
It's
Is it
cool.
good?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'll have to check it out.
Love
Okay,
it.
dope.
All right.
Yay!
So as I said, that's all the questions I have today. Is there anything that you guys would like to plug?
Okay, well, I usually say this one, and I'm going to say it again because everyone should know about it. It's the Bay Area music scene, TM. The Bay Area music scene has so many incredible bands. It is not really like an industry-centric place, so not a lot of people who aren't from the Bay hear about the bands from the Bay. I still think that it has some of the most talented people, some of the most interesting music. Shout out like Juice Bumps, Pure Hex. Pure Hex is on the way that like they're playing all around, and a lot of more people know about Buzzed Lightyear. What? Gloomhead, Buzzed Lightyear, Whorehouse. Izzie, help me out here. Pork Belly,
Pena.
Pocketful of Crumbs. Pocketful of Crumbs is sick.
Ooh,
Demora is a new one that's really popping off. Pink Breath of Heaven. Ellie Stokes has a project called Groupland. Jack Lillian, who just came on tour with us as a rhythm guitarist. They're absolutely incredible.
wonderful.
Yeah, we've got really great bands, and people should check them out. Some of them are starting to play in like Freak Out Fest Seattle and down in Mexico City because there's a couple of connections down there, and some of them play in France. And there's this one festival, the Psych Festival, every summer that SF bands go to. But more people should listen to the Bay Area music scene, and that is, in my opinion, the coolest stuff that's happening right now.
Hell yeah.
Wonderful.
All right. Well, thank you for silence, guys. Have been Scarlett and Izzie from Chokecherry, and we have been the Good Noise Podcast.